Hey guys, welcome to Aqua Road Radio, episode number 16. It is Sunday, July 20th, 2008. I'm your host, Shravan Warez, and joining me, of course, is Warez.
I'm unflappable.
I'm articulate, so...
Yes, you are.
I'm going to hope to actually achieve that title this podcast.
Or something closely resembling it.
Yeah, starting off greatly. It's actually raining.
Nice.
Out of nowhere.
Cool.
It was quiet until I hit record, and then it just downpour. Okay, figures. Watch the power go out or something.
We'll roll with it. We'll roll with it.
Alright, well, I guess really quick, let's, sprint through news, because we don't got a lot of it.
Yep.
Aqua Road Radio News.
Okay, our first item. Notice that the Better Business Bureau rating for Nexon America has gone up again.
Of course.
From CCC to BB.
Mm.
Now, on the GM blog, there is an explanation for the previous bad ranking by the statement from NX Pros that the company simply had not communicating resolutions of complaints to the Better Business Bureau adequately. BS.
I completely agree with you.
This is exactly the same GM blog where they still make the proposition that legits never get banned. Right. Not.
Because
Okay.
that happens all the time.
They're doing what they have to.
Do you know what kind of benefits they get for getting higher ratings in the BBB?
I think it's just a public
Honor
relations
like
coup.
thing. Yeah.
I think that's all. It's something they can point to when people criticize them and say, you've got a horrible way of dealing with your customers, and they can say, nah, look at this.
Proof.
Proof.
No,
Yep.
not proof. Alright, well, we also have errata.
Just a little tiny bit.
Just a bit. We kind of made fun of Dearson last time. In good humor. Not fun of, I guess. We were laughing with him, hopefully. But he mentioned the word Phenominion.
Phenominion.
And a lot of people have emailed us saying that it's actually phenomenon, which completely makes sense.
Or phenomenal, yes, and it fits
phenomenal.
It fit the situation perfectly. So that was actually pretty bright that the listener should pick up on that. But then Thurston emailed in later and having the last laugh on everybody said, "Nah, it's complete nonsense word. He just made it up."
Which is sweet because we have to make the most use of it, like from now on.
Oh, of course.
Alright, well, we also have a uncurrent event.
That's right. Because
it was current back in like July 1st when we were supposed to record.
We are unreliable.
But we're articulate and unflappable.
There you go. You got to play to your strengths.
It's what we do best.
So what was the current event?
Hello, I'm Elixir, and you might know me as Bokai in Windia, or as the guy who made that video with Hitler getting really mad over his Zakkum helm. But right now I'm going to explain about the 2008 4th of July celebration in MapleStory. So there are 3 things that they're going to give us for the celebration, and that's the Monster Cookout, the Independence Day hat, and the Independence Day flag. The Monster Cookout, as most people know, occurs on Fridays and will be from maybe 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. PST, which is +3, well, -3 for all of us in EST. And it's just a jam shows up invisibly and in some random town, and they'll summon probably like 100 monsters. And the monsters are usually a boss like Mush Mom or the Crimson Balrog, but I've seen tons of screens where it's just like a mini cargo or curse eyes. So this could be fun, I guess, but it's only really if you're a high level, probably 120 plus. So if you're below level 100, it's just constant death. The last time I accidentally went to a monster cookout, I went down, died from Crimson Balrog, and I couldn't even cast Magic Guard. And then I respawned and I died again. And you only lose 1% every time you die, but I mean, after 5 to 10 times of dying trying to get to an exit portal, it's just annoying. I really think that there's just a way to get out of a GM giving us a real event, because anyone who knows a GM command knows that it's just one line of text to summon 500 Balrogs. So, if you're a high level, go for it. If not, probably stay away on Friday mornings. Next is the Independence Day hat, which there's not really much to talk about it, but I guess I'll include it anyway. And it's just a noob top hat, which has the American flag on it, and it has an average of, I think, 10 weapon and magic defense, and gives +2 jump. So this is kind of a relief for anyone who was playing last year, and remembers just how terrible these hats were, because they drop 1 out of 5 monsters would drop the hat, and the inventories would just get filled up quickly, so you just drop them in the FM, drop them wherever, you wouldn't pick them up. But this year it was nice because I only got like 1, maybe 2 in an hour of training. So, and no event would be complete without the obligatory event quest. So, start out, you go to Cody in any town, and he'll say blah 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 blah, 4th of July, get me stuff for my BBQ party. So you need 3 items, the BBQ sauce, the pork, and the charcoal. And these 3 items drop pretty regularly from every monster, so you should have 10 in, like, I don't know, 20-30 minutes max. And the prize for this first quest is 1, the Independence Day flag, which gives +10 strength and has 30 weapon attack. 2, the usable item, Maple BBQ, which gives +13 weapon and magic attack for 20 minutes. And 3, 1,000 to 3,000 EXP. I don't really remember the exact number. And after doing this one, you'll get the second BBQ quest, which is just get 30 charcoals. And it's about the same time-wise. But this time, the only prize you get is about 4,500 EXP, and then another Maple BBQ. And after doing each of the quests, you'll probably say, wow, what a waste of time, unless you're like level 10 to 15. And it really is a waste of time, but I did the quest anyway, since it really doesn't require doing anything other than just normal training, since the items drop from every monster. And that's all that we got for the 4th of July celebration, and I'm pretty sure that the celebration will be over by the next time the podcast goes up. But I hope I gave you at least some insight. Thanks for listening.
So he was completely right in that the celebration is over by the time this podcast got up.
He called it.
He did. He knows us.
He did get... I want to do a little bit of fact-checking on him.
Mm-hmm.
When you did the Cody quest again, the item you had to go after was specific to your level.
Really?
Yeah, so low levels had to get the barbecue sauces.
Mm-hmm.
Mid levels would get the charcoals, and high levels would get the meats.
Oh, I was wondering why I didn't have to get any charcoal or meat.
So I was always calling it the meat quest instead of the Cody quest. People are going, "What the heck are you talking about?" That's me. I'm just going to do my meat quest.
Oh, was it always like that?
What do you mean?
As in, like, in the past years when they've done this, it's been the same way?
I believe so. It was like this last year. I don't know about previously to that.
I see. Because last year I was playing as my priest, and so I would have been a high enough level, and I was getting meat as well.
Right. So you were doing the meat quest then.
Yeah, exactly. And alright, that's cool. I was playing on my archer this time, so I saw the barbecue.
Right. I had 2 characters that switched from barbecues to charcoals in the middle of the event.
Upgraded.
Upgrade.
So does that mean like the barbecue sauce became like obsolete that you've had so far?
No. Well, you have to turn them in every. Oh, how many did you have to get? 30.
Yeah, something like that. 30, I believe.
Yeah, you had to turn it in. Once you turned the last 30 in after you had leveled to whatever the level change was. I think it was 30. Level 30.
Yeah,
Then you
that makes
got
sense.
then you got the Cody quest again right away. It's like, oh, why is he giving me the quest again right away? Ah, because now you're getting charcoals instead of sauces.
Still cool.
Oh yeah.
That's a little interesting anecdote tidbit.
Anyway,
alright, so
thanks, Poker.
yeah, no, we really appreciate it. Additionally, in patch 5.8 came out, and it did what
absolutely.
did it do?
It fixed one thing.
Just one?
I believe so. No, I think it fixed a few things. You know what I found out?
One.
I don't. You know, when you used to be in the FM, you had to shop up for a while, and then you shut it down. If you didn't change channels right away and you moved like 3 or 4 steps, you would DC right away.
Oh.
That happened to me all the time, but I think they fixed that. I'm not sure when. It might have been this patch. I think it was a welcome patch, but it is, in terms of gameplay, it was absolutely non-existent.
It did nothing. Having a patch to fix, I mean, solely just to fix all the errors they've had in previous patches is, I mean, that's kind of sad. I mean, I do understand that they're saying they will do constant updates and they're just sticking to their schedule of every 2 weeks or 3 weeks or whatever their patch schedule is, but still, I mean, if it's not like an improvement in gameplay or anything, but I guess they are fixing. I don't know. Hopefully, it won't be like this again.
Hopefully.
But they do have more errors to fix, so yeah, we can never tell.
And hopefully they get some more of it fixed before the next patch comes.
Maybe they need to have like an emergency patch, like they do emergency server checks.
That's not a bad idea.
Mm.
And then instead of patch 5.8, you call it patch 5.8.1 or 5.8.2.
Yeah. Have like 10 of them to clean it up.
Hey, whatever.
Well, hopefully, in the next patch, this whole Masteria thing is gonna clear up for us.
That's what everyone says. They sure are pumping it, aren't they?
A lot of, I mean, they're advertising it.
A lot of hype.
Like you said, they're getting everyone hyped up about it.
Well, I've taken a closer look at it from what I can see. I actually, if it lives up to half of what they say, I'd have to actually praise them, because this is, well, Masteria, as we know, is one of the only areas that Nexon America can really claim as its own, that GMS can claim as its own. Mm-hmm. And this area is going to be very comprehensive from the sound of it.
And they've done a beautiful job with it so far.
From what we can tell.
As in with New Leaf City.
Oh yeah, the parts of Masteria that we've seen so far. Very interesting. Something on par with, and perhaps even exceeding, an area like Ludibrium or Aqua.
That'd be really sweet. I hope there's more mobbing places.
I believe it's going to have something for everybody. Have you seen the crest that they're showing everybody?
The one with the fist?
Right. This is the new patch is supposed to be Crimsonwood
supposed
Keep.
To be. Mm-hmm.
And this is going to be in a castle-like area added on to Masteria in the same direction that the mansion is. So I think it's further down that road. That woods that the Headless is in, I think it's going to keep going.
Ooh.
So
interesting.
Further on down, there will be the Crimsonwood Keep. And so they've been showing a symbol for it, heraldry. What am I trying to say? Heraldry? Yes.
Heraldry?
Yep. That's their symbol. And it shows a weapon from each of the classes. So you've got an axe representing warriors. In the middle, you've got a fist with both I believe it's a claw, but he's holding on to an arrow. But crossed with the axe is a wand or a staff. And I'd like to point out that it sure looks distinctly like an elemental wand or staff. So I'm thinking maybe we're going to see some new weapons coming up in this patch.
which would be awesome. I'm kind of really surprised that they haven't had another little contest, because last time when they released New Leaf City, they made a big deal of it and everything.
Oh yeah, I remember now.
And they had that contest, and that's how was it the Fire Tusks or the Electro fans?
Ah,
One of those.
I think it might have been both. I think it was Electrofence. Well, maybe it was the Fire Tusk.
I think it was the Fire ones.
Yeah, you're right. It was.
But yeah, no, like they did that, and they also did a weapon thing, and that's when the flame sword thing showed up in the cash shop, right?
Yes.
So I don't know. I was kind of hoping that they'd have another design your own monster little contest.
They might do that again. Doesn't look like they're doing it for this one. They're not even going to They're not even going to set up Tespia for this patch.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to go without any testing. But
hopefully they'll go over well.
Yes, they say that they've got their T's crossed and their I's dotted.
Didn't they do that last time? Or say they did that last time? They tested for, 2 weeks? 3 weeks? And then they released it and it still had errors. So,
well, I think we can take that as a certainty that we'll see some kind of errors.
Mm-hmm. Then again, because this isn't a Wizet thing, it's more Nexon, sided Nexon of America thing. Maybe they've been working on it for quite a while, and it's just been behind the scenes.
I believe that is correct. I mean, they've been trying to tie this in for a long time. A lot of the backstory in the ITCG card sets is tied in with this area.
Right.
So they've been thinking about it for a long time.
And I believe that we have a voicemail about it.
Oh, let's listen.
The Maple Lore thing that was sent in?
Ah, yes.
Yeah.
Our friend Jin.
Yes. And he did a great job with it. So let's go ahead and listen to that.
Hi, this is Jin. Some of you may know me from the comments I leave on the website, or in-game as Jin10 in Goa, or Jin the Sin in Windia. I'm here to bring you a new feature to Aqua Road. It's not going to be a regular feature, but I'll explain that later. First, I should explain what exactly is Maple Lore. It has occurred to me that a lot of people who play this game rarely pay attention to any backstory and would rather grind to a high level or make a billion mesos. I found that a good game is not only good because of its gameplay, but also because of its story. That is what Maple Lore is about. The overlooked story that in some cases are quite interesting. But because there are only a limited amount of stories in Maple, this can't be in every episode. So for this segment, I'll be talking about Global Maple Stories exclusive Masteria. Masteria, which has been underneath the bottom of the ocean for 1,000 years, has recently risen up once more. On top of that, there's a new city that appeared on this continent. That's right, New Leaf City. Many of the inhabitants of the city have very interesting backgrounds. Let's start with the mayor, Icebird Slim. Slim was once an inhabitant of Kerning City, and became inspired to create his own city. So he went off on a journey to find ways to make this city. On this journey, he met Professor Foxwit, the time-traveling genius from the future, John Barricade, the adventurer, archaeologist, and half of the Barricade Brother adventure troupe, Jack Mask, the prince from Memoria, Lita Lawless, an old friend from Kerning City, and Elpam Gorlat, a pale-skinned traveler from another dimension. With their help, he would build the city of his dreams in no time. But the last thing he had to do before building his city would be to raise Masteria from the bottom of the ocean. Currently, we know that Icebird Slim asked for the assistance of a mysterious man to do so, for a price. How the deed was done, and for what price is unknown though, but Slim got its city, which he built over the ruins of an ancient and advanced city called Old Sap Village. Now, on to NLC's other inhabitants. Jack Mask, the prince from Memoria, once loved a woman, and while on a stroll with her, they were attacked by a swarm of wolf spiders. He attempted to save her, but failed. They both escaped alive, but Jack, shamed forever, covered his face and left Memoria until he was able to regain his honor. Professor Foxwit, as stated before, is a time-traveling genius from the future. It is unknown why he came, but his extensive knowledge of futuristic technology created the city's transportation, the Foxwit Doors. Lita Lawless, Slim's old friend from Kearney, is tough, and because of her toughness, she became the sheriff of NLC. She started as a thief and was taught under Dark Lord. When Slim approached her to take the spot as sheriff, she felt that NLC and Masteria would be her calling, along with the many others Slim picked up on his journey. In order to leave Kearney and thiefhood behind, Dark Lord proposed a test. Strike him anywhere and he'll let her leave. Apparently, Dark Lord is much more agile and powerful than his clone in the third drop adventure. Through a lucky opening, Lita was able to strike him after many attempts. Opam Gorlab came from the parallel dimension Versal, where the Balrog, known as one of the fiercest beasts in Maple, is kind and helpful, while the Mushmom, known as a cute and weak boss, is fearsome and a terrifying beast. He is a traveler that occasionally visited the Maple world as an observer. After the discovery of Amoria, his point of landing was disrupted, and he landed in NLC. In Versal, the sun only shone for a total of 99 days. That is why his skin is so pale. The reason for the lack of sunlight was, once long ago, the inhabitants of Versal cultivated onions and worshipped the sun in order to receive good crops. The monsters grew jealous and started to steal the crops and raid the villages. So the inhabitants made a deal with the most ferocious beast in Versal. If the beast protected the crops from the other monsters, the Versalians would give it a share. Eventually the crops were abundant, and the Versalians stopped worshipping the sun, and the sun gradually weakened. The fearsome beast grew unhappy with his share of the crops, and desired more to the point that there was nothing left to give. The beast, unable to satisfy his hunger, leaped into the sky and devoured the last great abundance of energy, the sun. The crops started to die, and the monsters raided the villages once again. A group of warriors grew restless and decided to confront the great beast in its lair. They battled long and hard, and eventually the beast released the weakened sun with only enough energy to last 99 days. This is the basis of the Versalian holiday, Versalmas. It is known that Versal is accessible within NLC, but neither Elpan nor the mayor know how to find this access point and activate it. It is, in my personal opinion, that Versal will act much like the Dark World in The Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past, and will have much to add in the future. Finally, there's John Barricade. He agreed to go to NLC after he discovered some interesting inscriptions in the Nihal Desert. While he was exploring a tomb, he found an inaccessible area covered with inscriptions of different Ankhs circling a mystical being with the name Subani under it. He searched far and wide but never found a clue that would allow him access to this mysterious area. One day, his older brother, Jack Barricade, while exploring the newly revived crackling jungle in Masteria, discovered the same inscriptions. At the same time, John met the Glimmer Man while exploring the Purplewood Forest, and was told that there was a possible connection in the Mesogears underneath Bigger Bend in NLC. With these pieces of information, John headed for NLC. And that's it for the main inhabitants. As some of you may know, as of July 8th, one of GMS's game designers has been putting up clues, previews, and hints to the newest expansion of Masteria, Crimson Wood Keep. Many who have seen these previews may be confused about some things, such as what exactly is Crimson Wood Keep, and who are these characters shown? Well, it all started with the ITCG. That's right, those cards actually have story value to the game. Let's begin with Set 1. The etc. items given can be shown to Professor Foxwit, which really has little or no impact to what you have to know about Masteria's past, and John Barricade, who will give you much insight on what has pretty much been a mystery. Let's start with the Antelian Relic. The relic is actually a piece of an ancient device known as the Antelion. The Antelion had the unique ability to transport anyone who touches it long distances in the blink of an eye. The only known fact besides that is that it was located somewhere on the continent of Masteria. Then there's the mystic Astrolabe. If you give this item to John, he'll tell you a little more about Crimsonwood Keep. The keep was located in the middle of Phantom Forest, or where the mansion is. All classes came from far and wide in order to train under the Grand Masters of the keep. The Astrolabe was created by the Grand Master of Mages, to see the secrets hidden in the stars and the universe, and use the power of the stars to find the path they seek. It is also rumored to be able to transport you to wherever you may want to go. Which begs the question, what if the Antelion and the Astrolabe were used in unison, and wasn't meant to be used in that way? Next are the Narracane Jewel and the Subani Ankh. Subani has appeared many times in this feature so far, and this will explain why. Subani was once a great mage with much knowledge in white magic, while Narracane was a great demon with just as much knowledge in dark magic. The two fought a great battle until Subani sealed Narracane and they both disappeared from existence, but their power lives on through the white and dark scrolls. When John explored the Yettinks next to Bigger Bend, he found inscriptions that detailed the rise of the two, and they will battle once more in another world. It is quite possible this other world is Lusal. Finally, we have the Taru Totem Pole. This object was a very important part of the Taru culture, now known to have been a tribe of warriors and magicians that were strong but peaceful. The Taru Totem Pole was supposed to represent the spirits of fallen warriors that died in the forest. The Taru grew together with their pets and became one with them. The Taru disappeared though, presumably wiped out by the Krakens. Not much is known about the Krakens, except that they are now controlled by Dr. Krakia, Professor Foxwit's arch rival. Now on to set 2. OMG Bosses! The first item is the Lafay Jewel. The Lafay Jewel is a jewel that was worn on the headpiece of the great sorceress Lafay. Lafay was one of the greatest mages within the Crimsonwood Keep, though a little, if not very, insane. She made many different magical objects. Some had been quite useful, while others were useless. She eventually left the keep saying that its rules were getting in the way of her work. Next up is the Stone Tiger Head. Now Nexon couldn't make this thing any more suspicious. They said things like, it was similar to other statues John found in the forest around the city, and that it almost looks alive. That the details make it look like it could come to life and tear you to shreds, and that it looks like it came from an ancient tribe, but the stone looks brand new. I could assume that it has something to do with the Krakens, seeing that they are still very active with Dr. Krakia manning the wheel. Next, and the final relevant etc. item is the Typhon Crest. The Typhon is a great and ancient beast and is a relative to the griffins in the highlands. Its wings is said to have the power to knock a man off a cliff, and that it is the embodiment or elemental of air itself. Now on to the different groups. The Neva and Winkle were created by a group of archers and assassins called the Windweavers. This group, along with the Stormcaster Knights, who created the Stormcaster Gloves, resided within Crimsonwood Keep, and were at odds with each other. The third group residing in the Crimsonwood Keep were the Boss Hunters. They remained neutral and were doing pretty much their own business killing off bosses. As you can see, in-game descriptions have been constantly referring to Crimsonwood Keep, the newest expansion in Masteria. I want to talk about the history of the entire place so that when Crimsonwood Keep comes out, you may enjoy it in its entirety. So I'll close off with a little bit more information regarding the keep hinted in-game. A possible connection are the Lunar New Year event hats from the Sandman, the Lafay Jester, the Herculean helmet, and the Lockwood hat. These names may all be connected to Crimsonwood Keep's top members. Also, when exploring the Mesogears, you will find the grave of Christopher Crimsonheart. It is possible that these 4 people, LeFay, Hercule, Lockwood, and Crimsonheart, were the Grand Masters and founders of the Keep. But this is only speculation. Also, through previews from NX Pros, one of the game designers for GMS, the group called the Raven Ninja Clan, whose name was found in the code and are also present in the Keep. Finally, it is very likely that there will be a boss within the Keep and possibly a PQ. That's all for now. I'll be back next time, hopefully with more information about Crimsonwood Keep, since it will most likely be out. This is Jin, signing off.
Jin, that was incredibly thorough.
You have enlightened us, my friend.
Like you said, I don't even do quests, and I'm sure even a lot of people who do the quests.
You said doo-doo.
I said doo-doo, yeah, I know. But the people who do, probably don't even, take the time to piece it all together as well, so incredibly thorough, and hopefully our listeners enjoyed it.
Yes, I would say that was a phenomenon of lore.
A phenomenon of lore. Awesome.
Were we done with the news?
I believe we are. Hey, that was quick. It's not an hour and a half into the podcast episode. All right. So next up, we got a rant for you guys sent in by you know what? Let's just play it.
A guest rant.
This week's rant.
Hey Dorothy and Wayne, it's Shamantha again, and I'll play Schnuff in Windia. I've noticed in my 3 years of playing, yes, I've been using a different account, but names are getting harder and harder to find. I know that you can have names long to short from any arrangement of numbers, letters. What I have noticed is that you have to be really creative to find a good name now. There are 8 servers, and in Maple Global, correct me if I'm wrong, there's 81 million accounts, most of them not being active anymore and taking up even more names. I'm probably way off though. Each server has 3 characters you can make, not to mention the guest logins now. And at one point, I looked up the name Phoenix on the ranking. And it was a level 10 something from several years ago, probably from the open beta, considering it had the Markham beta bandana. I'm finding this to be very annoying because such a great name is taken and was put to waste. I'm not the kind of person that makes a new character every day or week, but it's still bothering me that I can't seem to find a very realistic sounding name that don't have numbers in it. Some great names I've seen in game are composed of uppercase I's instead of lowercase L's. This is a creative idea, but people shouldn't have to do that. World Transfers has done a lot for Maple, but even before that, you can't use banned names, which I completely understand. You don't want banned people making new accounts and having the same names. Though in World of Warcraft, you can switch to different servers, but you have to change your name if that name's already taken on the server that you switch to. And that's perfectly reasonable in my opinion. I wish Maple could do that too. No matter what server it is, you can't use a name on another. If I were to make a character in Scania named Boguzuye, I can't make a character in Mardia named Boguzuye. But what if I wanted to have the name Heifer just because I thought it was a cool name? If I were Heifer in Scania, people would know that I'm not the Horntail Run organizer and just a different guy in a different server named Heifer. I'm sure that people did have IGNs that people knew for being famous. They go around saying they were that person, though everyone would know it isn't true. And they're just going around posing like it anyway. But there's no reason to. A friend of mine, a well-known smugger, deleted his character recently when he switched to Kahaini. Because he had been banned in the past, he couldn't switch back. So instead, he deleted the character, then recreated it with the I as a lowercase l. It's just very bothersome that I have to use odd names, like Schnuff. There are some good ones still out there. Pick names without any numbers is just a challenge now. It's very annoying to me that you have to go through so many names before you can find a variation of the original. I don't know what can be done about this, but this is just something I hope something can happen to help people find names instead of always having to check so many different names, just to be disappointed that they found out that the name they wanted was taken and all of its variations have been taken too, having to find a completely different name altogether. Alright, thanks for listening. Bye.
So Shim actually sent this out in a letter, huh?
Correct.
Oh. I wonder if he got any response.
From
Actually,
the-
stupid question. My
yes.
bad. But Shim, I have no clue what you're talking about. Schnoof is like a great name.
Awesome.
It's a great name, and the whole fact that you're in pajamas, and yeah, it's key. it's quality. But yeah, no, the name thing, I do understand to an extent because people compose on different servers though. It still doesn't let you make names. Like, I mean, if someone's on Scania and has a name, it doesn't let you make a name on Bearer or anything, right?
Apparently not.
Yeah.
I guess
I can understand that there is confusion though, and the
Right.
fact that they don't want people impersonating, and they don't even want to deal with that whole aspect of it. Like you said, they should do something about it. My first thought was that you kind of, I don't know, delete. Someone said later on in the podcast, I believe, we'll go into that, but someone mentioned that what am I trying to say?
Got me.
This is the articulate part of me. Oh yeah, someone said that people only, like, some people do only play once a year. Well, not once a year, but like come back and just play during the summer breaks or during their winter breaks if it's a couple of weeks then. And so I think it'd be safest to every if a account's been inactive for like a year and a half, or even a little more than a year or something, just delete all the characters and delete the account.
Something like that, anyway.
Yeah, just something. And then it's just, if they set the limit to just having the account be inactive, then if someone is really interested in a name, they can actually still keep it, and they can just log in once, log into a character, and then just quit, and it'd guarantee that their account's safe for another year and a half.
Correct.
So it's an option. It's definitely something to think about, and hopefully Nexon will do something in the future to correct this.
We can always hope.
We can always hope. It's pretty much all we do.
Uh,
Back when we were talking about Masteria expansion,
Okay.
I forgot to mention we had that whole conversation with NX Pros happen,
right.
and he was talking about.
Do we know it's a he?
No, actually we don't. NX Pros. It was talking about how the level ranges for Masteria was going to be like, what, 45 to 120 or something like that?
Correct.
Something higher. I don't know. So like you said, it is going to be a little bit for everybody. And he did have a lot of interesting tidbits in that conversation.
Oh, yes. And it's linked to, I think, in the opening sequence when you start up Maple. Those scrolling things, those 4 scrolling announcements things in the beginning.
Oh,
one
right.
of them's linked to it, so you can go and read some of those tidbits.
Alright, so just wanted to mention that there's those conversations that you guys can look into. But right now we got another hotspot for you. No, we
Yes.
don't. We have a newbie tip.
Yeah, let's do the newbie tip.
Yeah, let's do that first.
Newbie tips. Because we were all noob once. Newbie tip number 12. We're in the double digits on the newbie tips.
Yeah, we completely are. And we're not in the double digits for anything else. Newbie tips we've been consistently having every single episode though, so kind of proud of us for that.
Mm-hmm.
Ever since we started it up.
Okay, newbie tip number 12. Taking advantage of usable event drops. Welcome to newbie tip number 12.
Who's Skyping you, Where's?
I don't know who's Skyping me. I've got the darn thing locked away. I hope they ignore me. Anyway.
Maybe they're Skyping me.
Alright, newbie tip number 12. How to take advantage of usable event drops. Alright, we all know that events come in several flavors. Typically, there is some kind of 2x EXP, 2x drop event on a schedule. We all know the drill. Get a party, stake out a map early, because if you don't, Everybody and their grandma will already be on Maple, and you will spend the whole time running around looking for an open map, F4ing, boo-hoo, I can't find a map. It's frustrating.
That's exactly it. People's grandmas will create accounts just to
hold maps.
Just for double EXP game.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, find a space, find a map way ahead of time. A party is recommended if you're at lower levels, because the I just got flapped.
Ha-cha-cha-cha-cha-cha.
The semi-normal Maple etiquette goes out the window, and the entirety of every version and world reverts to an all-out KS fest. But if you survived even one event in MapleStory, you've already got this knowledge. There's also the events equip drops. These often come from the same or similar monsters or quests that they did in the previous years. Any new drops or deletions or changes are often the topic of conversation at just about any gathering in-game. But this is also evident to most Maplers.
True.
What we know, prices for these things will spike immediately because of the novelty effect, and then drop off rapidly as everybody goes out prospecting for the valuable thing, thus ensuring by their own efforts that the prices will plummet. Some, such as the anniversary event items, are worth holding on to for a long time, for their utility or for their unique properties. But I want to talk in this tip mainly about the special buffs or drops or pots that will come as monster drops or quest rewards during some events. These appear to me to be the most often underused parts of the events. People will collect a bunch as they're training and then think, well, what are these things worth? And end up giving away or dropping them. You know what? They're not all wrong. Not all of these buffs are worth collecting or saving. You have to pay close attention to what the effects are and to whom they would be valuable. For example, in the Thanksgiving event, there are several of these kinds of drops. Most of them are simply HP and or MP pots. These are worth using, but not worth keeping for a long time. However, there were the cranberry sauces. They did have lasting value, as they gave a decent magic attack, and you can still find them in the FMs if you look hard enough. I still hold...
Those were really good pots.
Yes. I still hold several on my... Oh, not more than several. I got a bunch of them on my Luckless Cleric yet.
Mm-hmm.
In general, the buffs are valuable in approximate this order. In approximately this order of descending value. Weapon attack, magic attack, stat boosts, accuracy, avoid, jump, speed, and so on. The higher on this list, the more likely it is to be valuable to others and more likely to be worth your while to hold on to. It does not matter if the buff will or will not help your character. You want to hold things that are valuable to others if your aim is to make some macers. This is assuming, of course, that it's a tradable. Some are not tradable, and you should hunt for these only if they're going to benefit your character that is collecting them. For example, last month or the month before, the sweet cupping cakes. These were untradeable. Should you have spent any time getting them or collecting them? Well, in addition to the other boosts they had some awesome power-ups to avoidability and accuracy. This would make them especially valuable to archers and sins. I gathered many with these character classes, at one point holding almost 2,000 on an archer. Meanwhile, on my archmage, I hardly bothered to get 100. If your aim is just to benefit your character and or other characters and not to make money, then your strategy is a little bit more subtle. Are you going to send them all to one character? Well, this is a personal preference. Which character can collect them fastest? Well, this might not matter if it's a time-limited quest. If so, then you rotate amongst all your characters, and hopefully by the time you get to your last character, it's time again to start on the first. The event buff quests often involve drops from every monster, and it's worth doing at any level of character. Note that it might actually be worth your while to hunt the drops from a monster that's low for your level, so you can finish the quest much faster. Ideally, however, you don't even have to stop your regular training of your main or whatever character you're on in order to get these. Like I said in the last episode, I have a Sin training on Ligators. These are still good training for this character. But the event quip is also dropping from the Ligators. which is one of the surfboards, and their drop rate for the Cody's Barbecue quest, which is now done, are also drop at a decent rate. So this character was able to take advantage of every aspect of the 4th of July event. I hope yours was too.
Wow. Being able to do everything at once. Impressive and resourceful.
That she is. And the surfboards are still dropping. I got one this morning.
Ooh. Do the surfboards, do they have any decent stats? Have you taken a look at any of them?
Yeah, their pole arm, they give a speed boost, and they allow they're classless, so anybody can use them.
Right.
And they got a fairly decent attack.
Are they still selling for like really high amounts in the FM, or has that whole thing passed? It's probably passed.
They've settled down to about, depending on the stats, about 1 million.
That's not bad.
They're worth collecting.
Yeah, I guess. Not worth going out of your way for, I don't think.
It depends on how rich you already are.
Right. Right, of course. Moving on, we have a party center for you guys.
Woo!
We have like one of everything in this episode.
It is the all-purpose episode. You've reached the party center. We'll help you get ready for that next PQ.
So this party center number 3, which is not in the double digits, is on the Ariant Coliseum. Now, alright, this isn't like spanking new or anything, so I'm sure that most of you guys have already given it a try, at least once or twice. But for those of you who haven't, the Ariant Party Quest is actually quite fun. Possibly one of the most fun party quests I have done.
Cool.
Have you tried it, Warez?
No, I haven't tried it yet.
You have to. Alright, so, alright, being the Ariant Coliseum, I've taken to call it the ACQ, but, adding the Q on for quest, but for some reason, I guess people don't see it as a quest, so, they've been calling it the ACT, for Ariant Coliseum thingy, I guess. I don't even know. Alright, well, strictly speaking, it really isn't a party quest, because you can take part in it by yourself. In fact, it really isn't, much of a quest, as it's more of a form of PvP. But now I'm just getting ahead of myself. So, let's start with the locations. You can enter the Ariant Party Quest through Ariant, Anyhooses, and Pirion. And it's kind of like the, the Carnival PQ?
Right.
And so you just walk up in the town, any one of the 3 cities, you walk up to this man in a turban, and talk to him, and he'll transport you to one of those like waiting room-like things that CPQ has. Now, in each channel, there's 6 battle rooms, as we'll call them. When you talk to the turban-clad man in the waiting room, he'll show you which rooms are currently being used, and which rooms are empty. These rooms that say empty, or have a character's name on them, are the ones that you can still join. If you choose to lead, you can click on any of the empty ones, and it'll teleport you to another waiting-like room that's a little more specific. But if you choose to join a room that's already available, it'll actually have level ranges, either 20 to 26, or 27 to 30. And the reason it's split this way is because level 30s are at a significant advantage over level 20s in this type of party quest.
No doubt.
And magicians are just generally overpowered all around. As usual. So if you would like to go ahead and start your own, you jump into an empty one and you wait around. When you click on the empty, a little pop-up window is going to ask you how many people you want the max to be. And generally people just set this to 6 because, if you're the leader, you can decide to start the battle even if, 2 or 3 people join in. You don't have to wait for all 6, but that's just the maximum number. If you're joining a room, just join a room and wait around for the leader to, start it up. So you're in an Ariant Coliseum battle. What do you do now? Alright, well, right off the bat, a window will pop up with a couple of options. You select the first choice, and you'll be given 50 capture rocks and 5 bombs. And from there, You end up in this like Pokemon-like battle. So there are three platforms arranged, one on the top and two in the middle, and the arrow on the top platform is a teleporter that leads to the arrow on the bottom. It's kind of really obvious, so you don't need to worry about that. But the posts on the left and right platforms on the far ends of the map lead to each other as another teleporter, so you can zip around the map. So to play this game, you go around these platforms and you beat the living daylights out of these scorpions. Mm-hmm. And once you get their HP low enough, you kind of throw a capture stone at them, and it turns it into like a jewel. Sometimes, if the monster's HP isn't low enough, you'll get this message in pink in your little text box window thingy, and more often than not, you'll miss it and you'll just take damage because it's kind of hard to notice. And if you've already been catching stuff, people generally don't talk because they are fighting, so you won't even notice that the monster's not strong enough because it's just repeating the same message over and over. Which gets really annoying. But if the monster does have low enough HP to capture, there's like a certain percentage chance. If you catch it, it'll say catch and the monster will disappear in this like little burst of light. Or it'll fail. And if it says fail, it looks like the scrolling or something failed. You'll see those little like black sparkly dot thingies. And the monster won't be caught. And so the point of this whole battle is to capture these scorpions with these capture stones, which creates a jewel. And each jewel gives you a point, and the more points you have, the better off you are, and you try to get the most points to win. The strategy of the game, however, mostly comes from the bombs. Alright, well, first of all, remember that you start with only 5 bombs. When you place a bomb, it appears right where you're standing, and it kind of explodes somewhere between 1 to 5 seconds. It's really irregular, hard to manage. If you hit another player with one of these explosions, they'll go flying, and they'll be stunned for a few seconds, but not before they drop a bunch of jewels, which you can then pick up, which hopefully will give you a big enough lead to win. But, the problem is that because the detonation time of these bombs is variable, you can actually hit yourself with bombs that you place. So, if you get hit by your own bomb, you yourself will go flying, and you will drop some of these jewels, and you will lose points.
It's random how many jewels you drop?
It has something to do with how many jewels you have.
Okay.
You never lose all of them, but you lose some percentage, I guess. It has to do with how many you have, and possibly also how much time is left. But I'm not exactly sure. If you ever do run out of bombs, ammunition, you can always beat the scorpions to death, and they end up dropping many useful items.
Hey, Shravan Warez and listeners. It's Johnny the Laxon again, and this is like an update to the Area Coliseum because they added new items. And there's 4 of them. All 4 of them are obtained by killing scorpions that are like collecting. And the first one is called Power Punch, and it's a little yellow fist. And what it does is it adds 10 attack and 15 magic attack. And it lasts for about a minute and 30 seconds. And the next item is Wing of the Wind, and it looks like a little wing. It gives you speed, and it's plus 15 jump, and plus 25 speed, and it lasts for about 30 seconds. The third item, called Crazy Skull, and it looks like a little skull with weird eyes. And what it does is it reverses your control. So if you push left, you go right, and the right goes left. And normally you can jump if you push down the direction you want to jump, and up at the same time. It's really annoying. And that lasts about 15 seconds. The fourth item is a shield, and it's like a little bubble. And it prevents you from getting hurt by bombs, or making you lose your rocks. But even though you have it, it'll still knock you off, or away from the bomb. And once you get hit, it's no use. And it only lasts for 1 minute. Yep, so that's it. Yeah.
So in addition to the items that Johnny mentioned, of course, the scorpions also do drop bombs. And each bomb you pick up will add 1 to your bomb count, and you can use as well to keep blowing up more people. But so after time runs out, after you've been getting all these items and, capturing all these scorpions and, beating other players with explosives, time runs out and the scoreboard thing kind of appears, this little scroll, and it's displayed on the screen, and the match results are on it in descending order. And then immediately you're transported into this Arient palace where the king and queen are awaiting. Here, you must talk to the queen, who accepts the jewels that you've collected and gives you experience and points based on the number of people who are playing, how well you placed, and the number of jewels you collected. Once you've collected a total of 200 points, you can talk to the king, who will award you with a palm tree chair. Not a palm tree. And that's the thing that everyone's all hyped about, and I think Warez, you said, was selling for a good couple million.
They were 25 million. They're down to about 9 now.
Wow. Okay. Well, alright, well, once you're done, all you need to do is head left, go through the portals, and you'll exit back out to the waiting lake room. So that pretty much wraps up everything about Arient Coliseum, and it's really not that difficult, and it's actually a lot of fun. But, before we finish, I'd like to provide you guys with a couple of tips. Mostly it was things that other people have taught me, but a couple things I had to find out on my own. So the first tip is to be patient. You're only given 5 bombs to start, and if you bomb the other players before they catch many scorpions, you're really not going to get your money's worth. Secondly, use the platforms resourcefully. Because bombs blow up somewhere between 1 to 5 seconds, you can use the teleportation spots to, place a bomb and teleport away so that you don't get, you don't hurt yourself. Also, you try to predict the movements of other players and place bombs before they arrive. What I usually like to do is place a bomb on a teleportation spot, teleport over to where the other player that I want to bomb is, and place a bomb there as well. And then that player, to try to escape, will use the teleportation thing, and then blow up from the first bomb that you've placed.
So
hopefully.
Mean!
It never works for me. I suck at this thing, but, it's still fun. Also, as a side note, fire sales don't work. Don't try to, gather up bombs, don't do something where you go around and don't capture any scorpions, and you collect nothing but, boosts and bombs and ammunition, because if you have 13, 14 bombs at the end, not even, if you have 20 bombs at the end, and you're trying to use them all to, beat all the jewels out of the other player, it never works. Never does. Additionally, remember that the ropes are kind of safe spots, which is pretty much why it doesn't work, because if you stay in the middle of a rope, you don't get bombed from anything, and you'll be able to keep all your bombs, but you won't be able to collect any jewels as well. So there is a lot of strategy into it, and it is a lot of fun, and so it is a lot of fun. Going through it with only 2 people takes less time and gives you more experience than the Curing Party quest. I think the least I've earned is 1,900 experience for 7 minutes or something.
Wow.
It's really quick, it's fun, and even if you lose, you'll get great experience. But yeah, I've been enjoying it for the past few levels, and I hope you guys will take the time to experience it as well.
I think I will. Now, if I'm going to make a new character, my guess would have been I should make a warrior, but what do you think? Should I make a mage?
You already have a mage. Why would you make another one?
No, for the right levels to
do the Arient Party quest.
The thingy.
The thingy. Archers, first of all, suck. Yeah, no, it's just archers don't do well because it's a lot of the scorpions move relatively fast.
I see.
Being able to do especially because archers have no mastery at the beginning, and even though warriors don't either, anyone who's played an archer can tell you that your numbers go anywhere between 200 and 50 something. No, actually sometimes even high as 400, 450, and as to low as 39, and so it's really hard to judge how many hits it'll take before you have to capture a scorpion.
They're quite erratic in the beginning.
Yeah, and then they can all team up on you as well, and that's really annoying.
Not fair.
So yeah, archers don't really do well. Magicians do really well. Of course, because they have the mastery and they can deal the most damage and all that good stuff. I would have to say that warriors. Well, you should be fine with warriors.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely. Don't make a character based on one party thingy.
Well, I'm not going to, but I'm going to think about it anyway. I don't have enough warriors.
Don't have enough. You have one
I have
already?
one, yes. I have a spearman. But I'm not sure if I'm going to do any more with him.
Got bored of him already?
No, he's kind of evolved into my merchanting guy.
Yeah, I hate it when that happens, when you're all psyched about a character and then you're like, oh no, needing you. And then the name's taken and you can't use it again. Yeah.
Uh,
Hey, welcome back. That was the first song, Flying the Blue Dream. Alright, so the second song is called Timeless, and this can be found in the Ludibrium clock tower. I chose this song because it's a very relaxing song. I sometimes use hide, or my GM hide on my server, and just sit there just to listen to this music. And so, here's Timeless from the Ludi Clock Tower. Enjoy. And we're back. Alright, so that was Timeless from the Ludi Clock Tower. Alright, let's start with our unidentified song. I'll give you a hint. It has to do with a group of people, and it's, lots of fun. It has something to do with your guild, and people who are in a guild will definitely recognize the song, especially if you're in an active guild like Hidden Street. You guys have done plenty of this. So, enjoy. Okay, so that concludes our episode of ARR Radio Jukebox. I hope Shravan Warez have gotten ample time to take a breather, and I guess I'll hand it back to you.
So the official winner will be the first email received at the Aqua Road Radio email address with the correct information on it. Any attempt to contact Shravan or me in game will be ignored completely.
It's just that it's more set in stone through the emails because it does have the timestamp on it and everything. It's just the easiest way to do it, so that's how it's going to be, guys. But anyway, Bagel, another great episode of the Jukebox. I really do hope you keep it up. One of my friends who actually listens to the podcast, I was talking to her earlier this week, or I guess earlier this weekend, and she says she really likes what you do. So keep it up, dude.
Yeah, it's cool. Wow. What do we got next?
My water's all minty tasted because toothpaste and water don't mix.
Yummy.
No, not so much. Bad taste in my mouth. Okay, well, Warez, you got a segment for us now, don't you?
Yes. Oh, wait a minute. Do we have out of order here? I thought we had a quest corner next.
Do we? I thought we switched it.
Okay, hotspot.
I mean, I can.
No. I'm ready.
Alright,
I was born ready. Welcome to Hotspot. Where are you training?
Is the hotspot stinger from the Legator swamp place?
Hotspot?
Yeah,
no, that's
I can never remember.
That's from Parian.
Ah, right. Every time I hear it, it makes me think of what?
Dangerous Valley.
Every time I hear it, it makes me think of the Crocodile Hunter.
Ah, okay. Cool.
Alright, Warez. I'm stealing your limelight, so you take it away.
All right. Hotspot number 5. Also single digits yet. At least I think it's number 5.
It's a whole hand.
Ah, gotcha. It is a whole hand. All right.
It's half a double digit.
Number 5. Hotspot is about fog or Forest of Golem. This hotspot was suggested and begun by Eric, a Windian whose IGN is Sir William 98. He suggested the Forest of Golems, or fog as most people call it.
And it's long past due. We should have done this
Yes,
as our first one.
He's not the only one who suggested it. It's been suggested many times, and I guess we're getting around to it. Okay, so Eric had followed a friend to this spot, and he knew from this experience as well as from the music that it was a Sleepywood map, but it wasn't underground. Well, Eric, you're right, it is a Sleepywood map, but it is also a dungeon. They are using the word dungeon here in its loosest interpretation. Many RPGs will call any area of intense monster concentrations a dungeon, regardless of whether it is underground or not. So to get to it, you go to the house that is just past that mysterious statue. You know, that statue of the guy, like, leaning on his side, and, yeah, I never knew what he was for. He's from some quest. So.
John and his flowers.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And something else, actually, I think.
All right, so you go, you stand by the door, you press up. Well, now that they make it obvious where the portals are, yeah, it should be really cheesy to find.
Don't push down, push up.
Up, yes.
Up.
All right, you have just entered the Sleepywood Forest Dungeon. Proceed at your own risk.
Dun dun dun.
The Sleepywood dungeon maps are all vertical, tall maps, all leading down as you head away from Sleepywood. Sleepywood Forest Dungeon 1 through 4 are all very similar to one another, with a respectable monster mix of slimes, octopuses,
octopi,
horny mushies, junior neckies. I threw that in just for Shravan.
Oh, alright.
Okay, and the occasional curse eyes or lupins, slowly giving way to mixes with stronger monsters dominating as you go down. By the time you get down to Sleepy Dungeon 3, you have a ground and 3 main plats that are covered with curse eyes. The ground has occasional lupins thrown in, and the first platform also will have dark stone golems and junior boogies joining in. This is a great map to do that 99 or 999 curse eye quest. And you can tell you're really running the spawn when you can get those dark stone golems to show up on the second platform. But this isn't your destination. Journey on, my friend. Sleepy Dungeon 4 shows more of the same scenery. There is what looks like a ruined Buddhist statuary on the ground plats. These are supposed to be part of the same ruins where the golems spawn outside of Henny. They are relics of the Shirenian culture of Victoria that was destroyed by Urgoth, who you fight in the guild quest. That's some of the backstory you get from that guild quest if you're paying attention.
Oh, okay.
Alright, so the next map brings you to the entrance of your destination, Sleepywood Dungeon 5. It appears to be the end of the line. But below the plat is a series of tiny plats. Below that is a set of alternating medium plats, which floats above more ruins on the ground. So, on those tiny plats just below the entrance plant, set on one of them is a big flower growing, and this is the door to a hidden street called Forest of Gollum. Fog is a continuation and a variation on the theme. The entrance plat is in the upper middle. It is the only safe spot here other than the ropes. 3 chaining platforms increasing in size are directly below you, and below that is the ground, all of which forms a gigantic pyramid. Here you find the dark stone golems and mixed golems in great abundance, with occasional lupins thrown in for comic relief. So, is it as good a training as they say? Eric says that it's a great training spot for levels 50 to 70. He's right with some caveats. But first, let's look at the prey. The dark golems are a level 58 monster. They got 4800 HP, 150 MP, and they give you 200 EXP. The mixed versions are level 59. They have nearly 50% more HP, but only give you an additional 10 EXP. It's an easy choice if you can choose which ones you're going to hunt, like at Anyhooses maps. But here you must kill everything, or it will kill you. Okay, back to those caveats. Well, first, they're going to hit you, and hard. This place will burn through your HP pots like a machine gun going through bullets. Bring, if at all possible, your friendly neighborhood cleric if you can. Second, the golems, well, they're a melee and range single attack training mostly. You won't see a lot of mob attackers here unless they come back at later levels. The combination of high HP usage and the necessity of melee fighting makes this place a natural for fighters, and you'll see many here. Sins and Dits also find this a place attractive and will show up in goodly numbers. Bowmen and crossbowmen find it good training as well, and they make a good showing. Mages, on the other hand, with their early mob specialist skills, will find it harder to keep up. The golems are vulnerable to ice and fire, but you must take down the closest ones faster than the mob advances to you. And it's not hard. It's not really easy to do at that level. Clerics, however, are always welcome for their party skills and the fact that the dark golems are weak to holy.
We're everywhere.
So this is the twist of the place. If you're doing it right and running the spawn, the plats are more and more covered with golems than not. You're constantly bumping into them and taking contact damage. So if you let the spawn slack a bit to give yourself some open spots, then you're affecting the rate on all of the map. And since you have to share this map almost always with other people, you are likely annoying the rest of the people who might then decide to up the rate on their own by dropping down to your platform and chaosing them, simply attempting to run you off. This thick mob is no problem for melee fighters, but what about ranged single attackers? Sins and Hermits can jump attack to open a spot, but archers will have to depend on a knockback to get a start going. Once these guys start, they should keep it up, and maintain, if possible, a small open spot around themselves as they proceed in one direction or the other. So the statement of 50 to 70 may be off a little bit. I mean, it's probably the right range for thieves, but warriors will probably go a little bit earlier, archers maybe a little bit later. Mages, well, they can come back later on, but they may not want to put up with the chaosing from lower levels of other classes. And a KS Fest this place most definitely is. Most of the time, people simply agree to stay on their own platforms, but this will change on most weekends, and all bets are off. If you can't stand this kind of behavior, you might want to give it a try late in the night on a weeknight. So to sum it up, fog is very stressful and expensive training, but the rapid leveling and decent drops will keep this a desired destination for the foreseeable future.
A lot of people say that for fog, clerics should come back after they become priests and get Shining Ray.
Ah.
By then, don't bother. The experience is just not enough to be worth it at all. You'd rather, jump over to Gobies or something.
Right. Dreaming of Himes.
And once you get to Himes, you don't leave for a long, long time.
I believe it.
Anyway, yeah, that was completely long overdue. I hope you guys find it completely useful. Moving on, we have a quest corner that was sent in from a listener of ours, and I will be reading it. And it is about Maya's concern.
Quest Corner, a slice of gaming pie.
Hi, it's the Sword Killer here for another useless quest from Nexon. I'm currently a level 67, almost 68 page. I'm guessing you're level 70 by now, so congratulations.
Congrats.
On this, and so this quest corner will hopefully be short. I have not done this quest, but I have read it off of Hidden Street's website.
That's cheating, man.
I do. Yeah, no, don't do that. Actually, go do the quest. Let us know what you think.
You have to live the hell if you're going to tell us about it.
Yeah. But we decided to put it anyway, because we had a quest corner, and we were like, let's use it, because we haven't done one in a while. Anyway, so this quest is Maya's Concerns. The prerequisite for this quest is Maya and the Weird Medicine, which is the level 15 quest that gets you that bamboo hat that everyone's saying that's worth doing. Maya is located in Anyhooses, next to Grandma Benson's house. After receiving the quest, she asks you to get 50 holy waters and 20 Lieti furballs. Is it Lieti?
I think so, yes.
Alright, Lieti furballs and 20 cold eye tails. The holy waters you can buy easily, but the Lieti furballs and cold eye tails are a bit of a stretch to get to.
At that level.
Lieti furballs can... Sorry, what?
At that level it is.
Yeah, definitely. Lieti furballs can only be found, to my knowledge, near El Nath and Orbis Tower. The cold eye tails can only be found off cold eyes, which are pretty deep inside the dungeon.
Correct.
When you return these to Maya for all your hard work, you get 0 experience.
What?
No, this is not a typo. You receive no experience for doing these tasks.
Give me my EXP, woman!
She's too demanding, for she's sick, and she has concerns.
A lot of baggage, that one.
If you don't have any more sanity left, you'll be sent on another errand from Maya. If you do have any sanity left, don't. Possibly.
Something.
Anyway,
like
so the next thing she asks you to do, I guess, she will ask you for 50 antidotes.
I'll settle for anecdotes.
That was my fault. Alright, so she'll ask you for 50 antidotes, 30 fly eye wings, and 30 Nepenthe seeds. Once again, you can buy the 50 antidotes, which I believe you can buy in Ludi.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think you can buy them in now, too.
Oh, probably. And if they can't find them in the Ludi Pot store, I believe that Tony lady in the clock tower sells them.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, the 30 fly eye wings, I believe, are located in the dungeon as well. Those are down by Pianist, right?
That's one of the better spots if you're going to hunt them, but they are in the lava caves going to Zakum,
Oh, right, after the dead mines.
Right.
Yeah, so basically you have to go over to Elnath, and you can get the antidotes there, so I guess you're good. And for the second time, though, you must travel to Orbis to get the 30 Nepenthe seeds. Guess what, though? For all your efforts, you get, once again, 0 experience.
Wow!
Aren't Nepenthe seeds, like, near impossible to get? Aren't they really hard to kill or something?
They attack you. They throw poison mud at you.
Ah, right. Yeah, that was completely a hassle. Alright, so if you're an extremely trusting person who still has their sanity, you may go on her third and final quest.
No, don't do it, you fool!
Maya asks you to gather up 100 junior Pepe fish. Pepe, PP, whatever. These junior Pepes are located at the bottom of Orbis Tower and are level 35. Congratulations, you have finished Maya's quest. For your efforts, you receive a grand prize of 3,000 experience and 10,000 mesos.
Oh, she finally coughs up some EXP.
And the money, that's not even enough to cover an airfare to and fro. To Orbis and back, you know?
Who does this person think she is?
Well, congratulations. 3,000 experience is not even close to being equal to the amount of monsters you had to kill to get the items, and 10,000 mesos isn't even enough to cover one trip to and from Orbis. He says it, and okay, cool.
You stole it from him.
I didn't mean to. Anyway, he says, once again, if you wish to keep your sanity, avoid this quest. Yeah, sanity is a big thing to me. Love the show, guys, and I hope you keep it up. That quest sucks.
Yes.
So much.
I think they do this on purpose to teach you that you can't trust everybody.
Yeah. Like, can't trust Nexon? You think they'd already do enough to teach us that?
Yeah, that one's pretty effortless.
Yeah, well. Anyway, future reference, do a quest if you're gonna talk about it, but I completely understand why you didn't do this one.
Correct.
And, it was worth mentioning, as I don't do to people who do all quests. You've probably done it at Warez, haven't you?
Yes, I believe I did this one.
Yeah, you do everything.
Well, except the ones that involve a lot of jumping.
Oh, right. Of course. So yeah, that's like pretty much our show. And we got a bunch of voicemails and emails to read off, but that's pretty much it. We're wrapping it up quickly. Let's jump right into emails then.
All right.
Aqua Radio emails.
Alright, so we received 2 voicemails about private servers this time through. And the first one is from Luke, and the second one is from Michael. So we're going to play them both back to back and then talk about private servers a bit. So we'll catch you guys on the flip side.
Oh, hi guys, this is Luke. I just wanted to know what your opinion was on the subject of private servers and pirate servers or whatever you want to call it. I can think of, I know it's bad, and I guess it's technically illegal, but I don't actually play on one, but I've been looking at the forums, and it looks like the people, I guess one of the pros of this would be people, like, they have ridiculously high rates. It's like 1,000 times, which lets you get to like level 100 in a day. And I guess that's not fair to people who play on global, but it could be good for people who don't have the time to invest in MapleStory to get to that high of a level and enjoy aspects of the game that only people of that level can enjoy. But if you're faithful to Nexon, I don't think that would fly well with you. Well, I just wanted to know what you guys thought about that. I think I already know what Warez is going to say, though. Alright. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Hey, Shravan Warez. This is Michael, also known as Mr. DK, the level 123 Dark Knight on the Demento server in local MS. You guys might not have heard of local MS or Demento, but yeah, I'd say on it. So you guys were talking about Odin MS being shut down and all. Yeah, I played it until it was shut down. That's it. Then I searched for hours and I found local MS. Let me tell you, man, it rocked. Or should I say, it rocked. I put the ED because Nexon also shut down local MS. And I miss all of my friends there, but I have no choice but to switch back to global MapleStory. I currently play 3 characters, and they are 2,000 warriors on the Burla server, level 4X German, Kitty level 3X Ice Lightning Lizard on the Burla server, and Joystick MS, the level 1X warrior on the Cradia server. He's named Joystick MS because I play with a joystick instead of a keyboard and mouse. Convenient, right? Well, sort of. Well, I think I've been talking too long, so I can't wait to hear myself on your podcast. You guys rock. So this is Michael signing off. See ya.
Well, there you go, Michael. Hope you enjoyed listening to yourself on our podcast. But first of all, the fact that you play with a joystick, I mean, you have to have one of those, like, high-tech kind of ones that, at least, like, 8 buttons here and there to be able to do everything, you know?
I suppose.
But still, pretty cool. Seems like, I don't know, I kind of want to pull out my joystick now. It's somewhere in this house. Give it a shot. Be cool. Anyway, so, private servers. What do you think, Warez?
Meh.
Meh? Alright, well... after listening to these voicemails... Oh, were you going to say something? Go ahead.
If your intent is just to not deal with all the crap that comes from Nexon, it's not that horrid of a thing, but I've not heard of one yet that doesn't have the drop rate or the EXP rate, or both of them boosted way up there. And I just think it's weak. Sorry. That's me, though.
Well, after getting these 2 voicemails, I actually, hunted down my own private server. Well, not mine, but hunted down a private server and actually made an account and started playing around with it.
Okay.
It's interesting because, alright, first of all, most private servers from what I see, generally because it is a private server and not as many people are playing, and the people who make the server are, active generally. So you usually have really, really good service. If anything's wrong, you get it fixed within maybe, 10 minutes tops.
Oh, that's cool.
The GMs are available, almost all the time from what I've seen, and, it's just nice just to be able to, get an answer right off the bat. Another plus I saw was if you don't have NX, most of these private servers, what they do is they, if you go to their website, they'll have a link on their website that takes you to a form where you put in your account information that you signed up with on their site to be able to play on their private server. But you put that the information of your account into this form and hit submit, and it charges your character 100 million mesos or something. But for 100 million mesos, you can buy 30k NX. So for those who have no way of getting NX and by actual cash, do have opportunity to experience the NX life, I guess, on these private servers.
Okay.
Like you said, I don't like the fact that it's 500x. The one I was playing on was 500 times experience and 500 times drop rate or something, and insane amounts of mesos. There was one quest that you did. You just talked to the lady, and you talked, and then the light bulb turns to a book, meaning the quest is complete. Talk to her again, and you just end up with 1.7 billion mesos. So it's immediate cash up. It's immediate, it's just, I don't know, it's interesting. But yeah, I do like the fact that they do this whole NX thing, and people are on it to help all the time. And I think there might be some rule, private servers may not be illegal. I mean, they're possibly underhanded, and they are taking away from Nexon. And actually, they might be illegal. I'm not actually completely sure, but just the fact that it just has a lot of features in it that does appeal to a lot of people.
I would believe that Nexon would take the view that they are illegal.
I think there's some loophole that everyone's kind of using, and if not, then it's probably just illegal. and Nexon's working on shutting them down. And a lot of them have been shut down, like Michael has said. Another little interesting thing that they did was the trade shop button, because there's no point. First of all, because you can get 1.7 billion right off the bat, there's no economy. No one ever sells anything to anyone else, and everything in the potion stores and everything are all the same price, so you can always buy like hundreds and thousands of potions, and it's barely a dent in your expenditures. Yeah, so there's basically little to no economy. But so what they did was, you have the cash shop button, which takes you to the cash shop, and right next to it you have the trade button. And so from any map, if you hit the trade button, you could go to the free market.
Ah, interesting.
And both of the private servers that I've tried had this feature. And then if you leave the free market, it takes you back to whatever map you were on. Now, the key thing in this is that after you, if you're, training and whatnot, and your character actually dies, you can actually, instead of clicking the OK, you can click the trade button, and your character is transported to the FM, and then you die there again. But if you click OK, you're respawned in the FM, and when you leave, you're back in the map that you died on, so you don't have to travel all the way through, everything to get there.
I see.
Other than that, it's just people, because there are less people, there is less lag. Less lag, less people. Generally, most of the people are nice. You know what I completely don't understand?
What's that?
On both of the private servers, even though people are getting 500 times as much experience and 500 times as much gold and 50x drop, so I killed 4 Sturgies and got 2 work gloves. Yeah. There were still hackers. People were item or what's it called, vac hacking.
Vacking, yep. Vacking.
Yeah, and just flying hacks, and people were still hacking, and that's really kind of pathetic to me.
Yep.
That bothers me more than anything else.
Human nature.
Yeah.
Tell the listeners about what it was like trying to start a new character.
So, in the first one I tried, it wasn't 500 times experience, it was 2,000 times experience. And, I started a character, I went through the whole Maple Museum thing, and that quest, that first quest where you talk to, what's her name, Nina or something, and she asks you to go to her brother Sen and figure out what he wants for dinner or something, right?
Yep.
And you talk to Sen and go back and tell her, and she gives you 3 experience. And I think that's it. Yeah, 3 experience. That 3 experience with 2,000 times EXP brought me to level 9 with 47%.
He's ready to leave Maple Island if he's a mage.
What's really sad is I have no idea how people hit 8, because 3 experience is the lowest you can get in the game. So you're already missing SP on mages. And so I actually had to restart my character and not kill anything until I found a blue snail, which gives 4 experience. Which after I killed that, I was at level 10 with 87% or something like that, and it was really funny. Suffice to say, didn't play on it at all after that, and it had a lot of bugs and stuff. But the key thing, the most interesting part of private servers, and I know you look down on them, but I think you will find this interesting. Both of the private servers that I was looking at had this part on their website where after you hit level 200, you can rebirth your character.
Oh, okay.
So what that means is you have your keyboard and your keys, and you can set your keys and all the spells and whatnot, right? So all the spells that you set when you rebirth your character remain. So if you're a bowmaster and whatnot, you'll still have whatever spells you want, Phoenix and Hurricane and whatnot, right?
Okay.
And then when you rebirth your character, you're brought back to level 1, or level 10, I think, and then you're given a little stat boost as a bonus for hitting 200, I guess. And then you can go back and get another job. Wow. And when you get another job, you are gaining the skills from the other job. But as long as you don't replace the keys on your set key thing with new spells, you actually keep them.
Interesting.
So you kind of make this custom character. And so you see a lot of people. I'm in this guild, and one of the people rebirthed like 3 times. So they've been a Night Lord, a Bowmaster, and a Bishop. So basically, they're walking around, flash jumping, while healing, using Holy Symbol, using Genesis, and at the same time having the little Phoenix thing out. It's interesting. You can if you can go through the classes and make this conglomeration of your own kind of character, using, I don't know. I just thought it was kind of cool.
I do like that kind of a customization concept there.
I do think GMS should take that into account, just because it is like once you hit 200, there isn't anything to do in the level cap and whatnot, and I think it's a good, thanks for playing long enough to hit 200, you can start over and make your own character kind of thing.
Interesting.
But no, that's the one feature that I really loved about it. But other than that, it's not really all that different. Most of the private servers don't have everything working. Most of them still are I think 0.56, the patch 0.56 did something where it stopped private servers from working.
Oh, really?
So if you don't have version 0.55 for some of MapleStory, it doesn't let you actually get onto the private server. It actually kicks you once you try to double click and open the exe file. It'll open up a white screen and then kick you out. It'll auto quit on you.
Wow.
So yeah, Nexon has done things to keep them from getting future updates.
Well, that's not going to bother me because I'm not going to play on them.
Exactly.
Well, they do have a benefit for me nonetheless in that they draw the crowds down a little bit. On the legit
less lag
server.
for you?
Yes, somewhat less.
Yeah. But yeah. So all in all, it's an interesting experience. But it's really not all that different. Plus, like I said, they do have setbacks. So because of I forgot to finish the thought. Because of the 0.55 whole thing, a lot of other things like they have Guild Party Quest, but they don't have Urgoth implemented. So you get to the end and you're just like in this room, and then you get teleported to the bonus room.
Weird.
None of the bosses work, I don't believe. Like you can't go to Pianus, you can't do Zakum, you can't do Horntail. None of those have been implemented generally. Just things like that. At least in the ones I was playing on. So.
All right.
You don't get the full mapling experience from private servers as well.
I guess. I've talked to a number of people who played them for a while. They seem like they all kind of got burnt out on it and said it kind of took the fun out of it for them eventually.
Right. It gets really repetitive. And like I started playing Friday night, I think, and within 10 minutes, or within 10 minutes I was level 30. Within about 30 minutes of starting to play, I was 70. It takes all the grinding out, but it's just like not fun.
Interesting how that goes hand in hand.
Yeah. It takes the game out of the game, frankly, in my opinion. I do like the whole character conglomeration thing, but I don't think it's one of those things I'm going to stick with. It's not going to draw me away from Maple.
Well, that's good. Yeah.
So that's just my view and my investigation process.
Well, thanks for that report from the front lines.
Alright, so let's move on.
Okay. Next.
No one wants to hear about private servers anymore.
They don't?
Hopefully not.
Okay. Alright. Who's the next voicemail from?
The next voicemail we have is from Spazcakes.
Yay, Spazcakes!
Frequent listener. We should give her, bonus points.
Yes. I gave her 2.5 bonus points. And a star.
Yes. And a star. Is it a gold star?
Yes.
Hello again, Aqua Road Radio. This is Spazcakes. Still level 3X fighter on Karadia, because I fail. With a PH. Yeah, I was playing my Islander the other day on Tiny, I think. Her name's Citrus Mango. I got her off a shampoo bottle. And they completely remade Maple Island. They got a bunch of new quests, but the maps where I would hang out with the rest of my guildies is gone, and nobody's logging on, so I can't find them. Do you have any idea where all the islanders are? I'm lonely. Everybody's like, pay me blog. Red snail shells, please. Yeah, it's kind of annoying. Well, that's about it, I guess. Okie dokie, let's try not to end it so abruptly this time. Yeah. Okay, that didn't work out. Bye.
So, level 30, I think she said. Islander.
Islanders, what a concept. That's like perma beginner or heck, strength mages. What's the point?
Let me tell you, one of these days, strength mages will become overpowered.
They'll be uber godly.
Oh yeah. You wish you can beat stuff while teleporting and healing. One day.
Cool.
But the Maple Islander concept, they like stick to just a Maple Island and they never leave or something, right?
That's correct.
I don't see that being fun at all.
Doesn't it get boring? I mean, if Maple Island was bigger.
What's the highest level monster you have on there? Orange mushrooms?
I think so, yes.
And they give like 15 experience?
Something like that. I mean,
getting to level 30.
I admire their dedication.
I do. So, someone let us know if you guys have Maple Islander characters. Let us know so we can let Spazcakes know, so we can answer a question of where all the Islanders went. Because she's lonely.
She's gonna have to go to remain then.
So this whole guilty thing that she mentioned, like, if they can't get off the island, how are they forming guilds?
Oh, yeah, you just have your regular character form a guild, and then you join the Islanders from the distance, remotely.
Oh. Interesting.
Now, supposedly, some of them have items and such that they're not supposed to have, and I'm not sure how they get them. It can't be legit, but who knows?
Well, oh, yeah, because there's no Dewey or anything either.
Exactly.
Actually, they should put Dewey somewhere on the island.
That would cause problems.
Would it? Oh, yeah, someone's going to KS all the beginners.
Right.
It's still a funny concept. Well, alright, so let us know if you guys have Islanders, because I'm semi-interested. Not really.
No?
I'm not going to make one. I have a strength mage. That's tedious enough for me. Alright, so our last voicemail is by Michael.
Hey Shravan, it's Michael again, the guy from Local MS. Shravan Warez. But I noticed that you only say thanks for calling me here at Aqua Road Radio in the voicemail, and I think you should change it so you and Warez both say something. And also, I'd like to suggest a new topic, and it's called get rich quick, or you can change it to whatever you want, but I'd like it if you guys suggest how you can make some easy cash, or maybe not so easy, but just a good way to make some mesos. That bronze meso stash, that just threw off the economy by so much. I saw 15 people on my local Target buying game cards. They bought 10 each. So they had 250k an X point, and that's just too much. So they had maybe more than I'm not sure, but around 1 billion mesos, probably lower. I'm not doing that. But that's just crazy. And the Obies and Broa were They were like 50 mil before. Now they're like 20 mil because of that bronze sack. But now they went back to like 55 mil. That's the most I've seen so far on the FM. But, you rock, guys, and look forward to hearing myself on the podcast. Alright, bye.
So I think there was some communication error with the whole Ilbeast thing, because I think he said they went from 15 and they jumped up to price to 20 million, from 15 million to 20 million, and then he says they went down again to 55 million.
I didn't follow that.
Anyway, yeah, the bronze sack completely screwed up the economy. As for tips to get rich quick, we kind of throw those in here and there, and we talked about it before in newbie tips and whatnot about making some money.
Yeah, we intersperse it here and there.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a continuous background. I don't know about getting rich quick. Get rich, yes, but I don't know about quick.
There's plenty of ways to do it. We talked about before, just making sure you pick up all your drops, and it's the little things that add up, as well as being able to manage the economy, making guesses on what's going to happen due to patches or things like the trading card game releases. So we've kind of dispersed that throughout hopefully the last few episodes. So
and we'll keep it up.
Yeah, hopefully we can insert more things here and there. Like palm tree chairs. Those were like 25 mil for quite a bit of time, just because the Arium Coliseum was limited to levels 20 to 30.
Right.
And so the higher levels who weren't able to get this could have traded for it or bought it for hefty prices.
Right. And it's dropped down to, like I said, just below 10.
Which still isn't bad.
Still isn't bad. I think that's because it takes a long time to get 200 points.
Mm-hmm.
And so they'll probably always fetch a respectable price, I imagine.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. Alright, well, that was the last of our voice... Oh, right, before we go. We do need to change... Michael did point out that we needed to change the voicemail message on our voicemail line.
Uh-oh.
Because I recorded it back in like episode 1 or 2 when I was by myself. And no one's mentioned it till episode, 16?
Whoopsie.
And you've been here with us since episode 5?
Correct.
4?
5.
Yeah, so... Well, we'll change that. We need to change that. But right now we have an email.
Yes, we do.
And it's as long as our, HotSpot.
Good lord.
So how do you want to do this, Warez? You want to take turns reading paragraphs, or...
Sure,
would you like to read
let's
it,
do
or
that.
do you want me to read it?
Let's do that. Let's take turns.
Alright.
Alright, I'll start. First email is from Troy, or T-Roy, or Max8. He says, "Hey, Shravan Warez, sorry if I spelled your name wrong. No, you spelled them right." No, just kidding. But yeah, I found these pics of the Time
did
Temple.
It on purpose.
Yes, probably did. It came out on the latest patch of KMS. There's a Time Temple made up of 3 parts: the Plant Zone, the Ice Zone, and the Flame Zone. Each zone has a different boss in it. For the Plant Zone, there's a boss named the Time Whale.
Dun dun dun.
I don't really see how this fits into the category of plants, but it says it is for the Plant Zone. And for the Ice Zone, they have the boss Knight. It's a chess piece, except that Knight is made out of ice. The last and the hardest boss, possibly the hardest single-form boss in the game, besides Grandpa, is
impressive.
Is in the Flame Zone. Yes. And the name of this boss is Rika, I believe. It's somewhat of a bull-looking horn demon kind of thing. Very different. The very different thing is getting there. You get there by getting on the mount of a small baby dragon, and you go in this different map, and you, I think, fly in it and cannot touch the sides until you get there by adding it adds a unique feature to the place. Also, I would like to tell you about the Monster Book right now that is available in Korean and Japan MapleStory. I learned most of this information from the Strategy Wiki, and this is what they had to say about this feature.
The time whale. Everyone knows that whales grow from seaweed.
Okay. I guess that's the
plant reference.
Anyway,
he goes on to say, in Korean MapleStory and Japan MapleStory, there's a system called the Monster Book. Monster Book is, as the name suggests, a book which every player is given that catalogs monsters. When a Monster Book is added to the game, monsters will begin dropping cards that contain detailed information on them. Each individual monster card can be collected up to 5 times. Upon picking up the first monster card, the monster's slot in the book lights up and its standing sprite becomes viewable. The second time a card's picked up, the monster's HP and MP values will be displayed, as well as some new animations of the monster such as walking or knockback. The third time, the monster's history and level will be added. For the fourth card, a near-complete drop list is revealed.
Ooh.
With current items, that sounds incredibly useful. With certain items such as skill books omitted. Okay, well, still useful.
Yes.
The fifth card will reveal the monster's exact locations across the world and grant a temporary 15% experience boost.
Ooh.
That's interesting. This boost lasts for 1 hour, starting from the moment the card is picked up. All remaining animations for that monster will also be unlocked. Though these cards will continue to drop after the final card is found, picking up more than 5 will have no effect. In addition to their permanent change to a player's monster book, each card looted will cast a buff on the player, granting him a helpful boost, such as increased drop rates, or speed/jump boost when hunting in the region where that monster appears.
Oh, very nice.
That's ingenious.
I like that idea a lot.
It sounds very Pokédex-like. It's just me, or is there so much Pokemon reference in this game?
Well, they use what they use what looks to be popular, and they rip it off shamelessly and rename it and call it their own.
But that's awesome. Each time you pick up a card, you get some kind of stat boost, and then the fifth card you pick up, you immediately have an hour of semi. It's like a mini holy symbol.
Sure. It's pretty cool. I just like that it adds an even more of interesting bit of the game to the gameplay.
It throws in the database into the game itself, so people
right.
can actually find everything they're looking for.
Exactly.
That's kind of cool, because then you could find maps that you didn't know about before, and
right. But you earn it in a way too by killing the monsters and getting their cards.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very interesting. I really hope they bring that in here into global.
So he goes on even further to say, cards in the books are sorted by relative level range. There are tabs on the side of the book which allow one to skip from level range to level range. The tabs on the book side are color-coded, and the colors match those in the background of the cards which appear in that section. A Chief Gray, for example, has a green background on its card, and the tab under which it appears is also green. The only exception is cards from boss monsters, and these appear in a different section called Special Cards. Certain event monsters also appear as special cards.
Only monsters found on Maple Island, Victoria Island, and Masteria currently drop cards. In Japan MapleStory, cards also drop from Zipangu monsters. All other World Tour areas, such as Floating Market, Shanghai Waitan, which is exclusive,
I believe it is
and
currently, anyway.
Xi-mending? Chi-mending? Xi-mending?
First time I've ever heard.
Do not have cards in any version. It is expected that when the version is created, a town gets the monster book. It is expected that when the version which created a town gets the monster book, the monsters in that version's World Tour area will begin dropping cards. Monsters in Party Quest do not drop cards, with the exception of the bosses, King Slime, Alishar, Papa Pixie, and Frankenroid. Who's Frankenroid?
Frankenroid, I believe, is another name for the homunculus I was talking about last time in the Romeo and Juliet.
That does make sense.
Party Quest.
For players who are above that level range of Party Quests, opportunities to buy these cards from other players will appear from time to time as part of events. So it becomes tradable as an event?
I guess so.
Okay, that's still pretty cool. Alright. I'll go ahead and finish it up, if you don't mind, Warez.
Go for it.
I don't play Global MapleStory anymore, but I still look around at what's going on. Here's a little info about the Time Temple, and he provides a link to the strategy wiki. I'm sure you guys will find it if you search Time Temple, and we'll post up a link in the blog anyway. But he says your podcast rules, and signs it with the Max 8. I want the monster book.
Sounds like fun.
I'm still excited.
Something to look forward to.
In like 12 patches.
I like the idea of the Time Temple too, although I don't know too much about it yet.
From the images that Troy has sent us, it looks like the scenery itself looks really good, and the whole bull and time whale thing, although it's an odd concept, it looks good, and I do like the map for it too. So I'm glad we have people who are listening to this who play in other worlds versions, like Korean and Japan and whatnot. So we get some information on it about what's coming up. We have insider info.
We have our spies everywhere.
Troy, definitely keep in touch. I'd love to hear more about Time Temple, and if other really awesome updates like the Monster Book or new towns and stuff appear. We'd appreciate it if you give us a heads up.
Okay, next email is from Turson. He says, I have an odd question. Every so often when I log in, there seems to be a bunch of random numbers at the top right of my screen. An example would be FA colon 150.7. Do you guys have any idea what this is? It is a phenomenon to me. It was a phenomenon to me too.
He used it himself. Silly boy.
I believe that occurs when you switch back and forth from windowed mode, and it has to do with the game code. I had a number of theories that it might have to do with your cursor position or other, but I don't think that's it anymore. But it's something that you're not supposed to see, and it's being shown there for some reason. I'm not sure what it is. It's almost as if when they were developing the code, that's something that the coders would like to see while they're working on a scene, and they forgot to hide it away again.
Does it only happen on certain maps, or is it everywhere, or does it seem like it's random maps? Because that might help us pinpoint it as well.
I haven't noticed that it's on certain maps yet. It just seems to be...
Oh, have you been seeing it as well?
Yes, I see it occasionally, and the only thing that seems to have anything to do with it is I'll see it when I'm changing from full screen mode to window mode or back again. Sometimes it'll make it appear or disappear.
Oh, so it just flashes, or does it stay on your screen?
No, it'll stay on. Once it's there, it'll stay on there for a while. And there's 5 lines. Various.
It might also be the frame rate.
It could be. It could be showing frame.
As well,
so if there's a FM or anything like that, it might be frame rate. Or FA? Are you thinking it might be frame rate?
Frame something, possibly.
Possibly, yes. So maybe it's showing you a performance of how MapleStory is performing on your computer at that particular instant.
I know that if they're white numbers in the upper left corner kind of thing, or upper right, I guess in this case, Fraps, when you're recording on Fraps, it shows the frame rate up there. So
okay.
Generally it's not over 60 though, so yeah, possibly not. Anyway, moving on, emails. We have Daryl from Bellowcan server. And he says, this is Daryl from the Bellowcan server, and I am an 8X priest. Woot! I have some comments on your podcast.
Good ones,
First of all, what?
Good ones, I hope.
Hopefully. We'll find out. First of all, I'd like to explain some of the main reasons for the recent and giant inflation. First of all, a majority of Maplers have not been playing Maple until summer, when school lets out, giving the bigger demand for items, pots, scrolls, and etc. Daryl was the one I was referring to way back when. Yeah. Anyway, by doing this, merchants will take advantage by stocking up on items and selling them. Secondly, as you know, the brown sack is a legit way to purchase mesos. Unfortunately, this is really screwing up the economy by increasing prices of many items. Example, Ilby's before summer price, 12 million. Currently, 15 plus million. Also, this will be a disadvantage for NX less people, like me, because I don't believe in NX, and I hope Nexon is listening to this because they are the most moneyest people in the world. They need to give chances by starting a pay by cash or money order service, because my friends' parents will not buy them NX or go to Target, and making them pay by themselves, and so they won't take them to Target. Personally, I'm not a fan of money order, just in general. I don't like putting money in an envelope and sending it out in like cold cash because anyone can grab it.
True.
So definitely PayPal, credit cards are more safer, more legit in my opinion, I guess. I mean they're both legit, but more secure.
There you go.
And then NX Pros in his he's in it. NX Pros was talking about in the interview that they were doing with him, and how someone asked him about the bronze meso sack, and man, it's so hard to not say him. So someone asked NX Pros about this bronze meso sack, and it responded with this is too weird. Responded by saying that they haven't fully evaluated its results or something like that.
We're still evaluating it, so we'll see.
Yeah. I don't see any. Like, what's there to evaluate? Everyone says no.
Well, except for the people who got tons of NX and want to buy mesos.
True. Like Michael said, $250K NX. If you go to that store and you buy 10 of those $25 cards. First of all, that's a lot of money. If it's people who are like saving up their money for allowances and using it on this, no, don't do that. It's not worth your money.
No, you want to save your money. I mean, occasionally, once in a while, perhaps.
Possibly, but I mean, $250K. First of all, it gives you what, 500 million? If it's 500 for 1 million, right? Is that what it was?
I don't remember anymore.
I think so.
Okay.
But if it's 500 for 1 million, that's what, 1,000 for 2 million. 250,000 will get you 500 million, and that's crazy. And so yeah, that's completely screwing up the economy. The summer thing I completely understand because people who don't, I mean, May, what is it? April, May is when Nexon starts their anniversary thing, or
Correct.
was that?
Yes.
And a lot of people generally have final exams around then, so people might not get a chance to play until mid-May and not be able to get the items that they're hoping for, and so people make a huge profit off of the stuff that they can get from either Easter events. Like you said, going back to the Newbie Tip, like event drops like the cranberry sauce and stuff, they sell really well.
Sure. Well, that's how capitalism works, and it's a capitalist system, pseudo capitalist system.
Pseudo tyrannous system on Nexon's part. Alright, let's move on.
Oh, next email. My turn.
It's a good email.
Alright, this one's from Jonah. Hey, Shravan Warez. While I was looking around, I found out that Maple Japan has Pirate Job on their test server and will release it 30th of July, and that Maple China already has Pirate Job and is currently putting pirate items into their version of the gachapon. I have attached a picture of this, which he did. Also, Taiwan MS already has the Maple, already has the Pirate, and Taiwan MS was created after GMS and Maple C. This means that the Pirate job should be coming out soon, hopefully on Maple C and GMS, before any more versions get it. And by the way, the Portuguese Maple story, which you mentioned in the last podcast, is actually Brazilian, but with Portuguese as the language. Love the podcast. Keep it up, Jonah.
Well, that makes sense. Brazil is where they speak Portuguese, so...
True.
Fair enough. Touché.
We sit
pirates. Yay, pirates.
Pirates. What do you think they're going to nerf them?
I don't know. Again, NX Pros was asked that question and was very said something about his Yeti. A lot of times he mentions Yeti. I have no idea what he's talking about.
That's his mysterious answer. Here we go saying he again. That's its mysterious answer.
It's weird, isn't it?
When it doesn't want to answer. Yes. We always want to put pronouns in there.
So, hopefully they don't. I kind of don't see how they're not going to.
Yeah, they're kind of in a tough place.
They kind of already said they're going to by giving us that Kitty Showa thing that everyone's talking about.
Right.
But, so, hopefully it's not too bad. But I'm not really, Gunslinger isn't my my pirate class of choice. I'm excited about Infinder.
Gunslinger.
Oh, you like gunslingers?
I want black powder pistols.
I see. Alright, well, the next email we have is by Sam. And Sam says, "Hi, Shravan," no, she says, "Hi, Shravan." Hi,
how do you even pronounce
Warez.
that?
Shrive. Yeah, I don't even know. Actually, I don't know. Sam is both a guy and girl name, isn't it?
Mm.
Maybe Sam can be in it too. So Sam says, "Hi, Warez and Shrive." There's like a Y in here.
SCHRAY.
Yeah. This is Sam. I play Invisiblo on...
Invisiblo, you slaughtered Shraven's name.
And Invisiblo is a level 73 chief bandit on Masteria. I think Nexon should implement a system of interest into the game. Since Nexon makes you have to pay taxes when you trade certain amount of mesas with someone, I think that they should make up for that by giving you interest in the storage. I think you should gain a certain amount of mesas over time based on the amount of mesas you have in the storage. I also think that Nexon should have a prize for you if you complete all the quests that the game has to offer. I think that taking the time to do all the quests should have a greater all-around reward, especially if you do all those grueling jump quests. I would really like to hear you two talk about these things, and what do you think about and what would you think would be a good reward for completing all the quests? You do an amazing job with the podcast. Keep it up. Well, alright, the whole quest thing, first of all, it's just that they keep adding more quests with every patch. Right. Maybe not every patch, but definitely not patch 5.8 or 0.58. But, quests come out all the time, so there's no real defining every quest, because then the people who have completed every quest will just continue to complete every quest by doing the next 10 new quests that come out each time more quests are revealed.
Sure. Well, you could have groups of quests, subgroups, so that you get special rewards for doing those
kind of like the New Leaf City thing. If you did all the quests in New Leaf City, you got the chair, the throne.
Good point. It's exactly what I was saying.
They might do that in the next Masteria thing.
Perhaps they do.
That would be cool.
That was a cool idea, though.
It forces people to, do all the quests, or I guess it doesn't force, but gives people incentive so that they can learn the story and actually, know about it.
There you go. And it makes the game more interesting to you if you learn the backstory.
Mm-hmm. What do you think of interest wars?
Horrible idea. Not that it's bad in and of itself, but the whole point of the taxes is to take mesos out of the system. This is the main theory, and I think this is probably how it really works. Inflation is caused because there are an infinite and unlimited source for wealth creation in MapleStory. All the players getting all the stuff all the time. But there's no way to take mesos out of the system. This causes inflation, runaway inflation. That's why they started things like taxes, in order to drain mesos back out of the system.
Right.
That keeps inflation down, and it allows new players a chance to get started. If inflation was allowed to run away, a new player wouldn't have a chance.
Exactly.
So things like interest put mesos back into the system, which is bad. And this is exactly like the bronze sack. I didn't make that point before, but it's the same thing. They're putting mesos back in the system. Why go to the effort of designing these things that take mesos out of the system and then sell people an NX sack of mesos to put a bunch of mesos back into the system? It's crazy. It's counterproductive. It's hypocritical.
Right. I think maybe they thought that because they opened that trade shop, the whole trade thing takes, people can put etc. items or whatever they find, equips and whatnot, and they can sell them for, NX. It takes the items out of the game, which otherwise they'd be getting, some amount of mesos for.
Okay.
So it's another way to pull mesos out of the game, but, you're right, putting interest back in the game just spoils it. Plus, there's too many ways for it to be abused. Like, someone could just make an account, put a character on it, and, send a bunch of money over to that account and use it like like some kind of bond where they just, leave it there for the next, 3 years. And then on Maple's 6th anniversary, they
But I don't think it would work like email. Where on one. What is it? Everyone to work. That would be cool. Yes, it was. And I think if you're going to hear rants from now on, there probably will be guest rants.
True.
Like we've said before, Shravan and I are pretty much worked all of our rants out of our system.
We now just complain instead.
Whine.
Whine. Ranting's more of a thing that, I mean, like back when like we first had rants, it was incorporated because I was started up the podcast by myself, and I could like rant to you guys about things and get feedback. But now that Warez joined back in episode like 5, rants have quickly waned away just because now we're more conversational. So we can whine at each other and complain and stuff instead of screaming and ranting. I mean, it just doesn't fit with the feel, but everyone loves it, so I don't know.
Well, we could just play the stinger if we don't have one,
we play it and everyone's expecting a rant, and then we just play the ending. Yeah, maybe.
Well, we could rant about not getting enough rants.
I'm not that angry of a person.
No, not me. Not me either.
Guess we're in closing notes now, but I kind of feel our podcast is like gas prices. Yeah. Like, I mean, how back in like 2000, the gas was like 99 cents per gallon, and you were like, oh crap, that's so high. I can't pay this much. Gas is so expensive. And now gas is what, like $4 at least?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know about you, but on average around here it's like $4.07 right now. And so our episodes are like that. I mean, our first episode was like a 15-minute introduction, but before it used to be like, what, an hour max? 40 minutes? And then last episode was like 3 hours long, and then now we're like, hey, this was pretty quick, but what are we on, like 52 minutes in?
Right.
No, we're more than that. We're like 2 hours in.
2.5.
2.5. Yeah, a lot more than 52 minutes. I don't even know where I got that. But yeah, now we think it's all quick, but...
Yeah, imagine that. 2.5-hour episode. We're thinking that as a small one.
It's the second longest we've had, and now we think it's quick. Great.
We spoil our listeners.
If these episodes ever hit like 5 hours long, I quit. Like, immediately. Too long.
Too long. Well, you know what? If we can actually stick to a schedule and not delay them all the time, they just keep getting bigger and bigger because they keep getting delayed.
we just, yeah. I mean, it's just scheduling conflicts sometimes, and other times just random things happen, like cherries.
Cherries and tornadoes.
I was attacked by cherries, yeah. Cherries and tornadoes.
Crazy, man. Hey, there's the episode title.
Cherries and... It's great. Yeah, definitely. I wanted to say something else about something. Oh, the private server. Really quick, just because I forgot to mention it before. Yesterday, out of nowhere, I don't know if they were playing this for a long time or not, but they implemented PvP.
Oh.
On the private server, so you walk in any town, any place, anywhere, you could be attacked by people, and I think they basically turned each player into a monster, also in the database, kind of thing.
Wow.
So that you take damage, but it was near impossible to kill anybody because, like I said, people have conglomeration of characters.
Ah. So
almost everybody has heal.
Okay.
So either they're healing or they have potions, so it's impossible to kill people. Or once you die, you're constantly dying because you're respawning at 50 HP, and people are just sitting there like spamming Hurricane.
Nice.
And so PvP stayed for I think maybe 6 hours, maybe a little longer, and then it got limited to just one room in the FM. I mean, it makes sense. So all you people who are like rallying for PvP and Maple, I mean, it makes sense in other games because there's a 3-dimensional environment and you can go around people and dodge stuff. But I mean, in Maple with the whole 2D thing, the problem is like someone could stand inside Athena's house or inside the jazz bar where you go to the Dark Lord or whatever the guy's name is.
Yep.
Is it the Dark Lord?
I believe so, yes.
Okay, I thought I was reading too much Harry Potter.
Whoops.
But yeah, so someone can just stand there and just like I said, spam Hurricane or something, killing everyone who wants to make the job advance and whatnot, So it's just not practical PvP. So just letting you guys know that I tried it when it was out, and it's not worth it at all. It was
Crazy.
interesting though because you did get experience by killing people.
Well, there are certain people I'd like to kill.
That's mean.
It is mean. But they deserve it.
Where's his dark side?
And who is to judge whether they deserve to die or not? Me.
No one else.
No one else.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty much.
Enough darkness.
Have you seen Army of Darkness, by the way, movie?
No, sir. I haven't.
So many people have been recommending it to me, and apparently it's like the worst movie on the planet, and it's what makes it so good.
Ooh.
Because it's so stupidly bad that it's funny.
One of those.
Yeah. Horrible. Have you seen Dark Knight, by the way?
Not yet.
Oh. Well, even if you have, I wouldn't ruin it for anybody else listening, but you need to.
Okay, I will.
Watched it in IMAX last night. It was hardcore intense. Definitely, it's one of the best movies I've seen ever.
Wow.
Go watch it if you guys haven't, because it's completely worth watching, and buying, and possibly watching multiple times over.
Sounds like fun.
All right, well, anyway, let's wrap this episode up with the usual. We have our website at aquaroadradio.wordpress.com.
Visit it frequently. Yeah,
learn my name. So you're not spelling with Y's and V's and... Well, there is a V, but not a Y. and no C either.
Yeah, where'd that come from?
We're just picking on you, Sam. But yeah, the website is resourceful, because we have our little announcements thing, and we have an episode timer, even though we never follow it. But when we don't follow it, we tell you we don't follow it, so, it's... look at that. Look at that.
It's entertaining to see what excuse we're going to come up with this time.
I hate cherries. No, seriously, it happened to me out of nowhere. Stupid cherries. Anyway, also on the website, there's a contact us page, which will show you our email address, of course, and the MyChingo link if you choose to record with your mic on the Java application. But it seems a lot of people have just taken to recording and just sending us the email of their recording, which is completely fine with us as well.
Oh yeah, that works.
So additionally, there's the voicemail phone number, which is long and complicated and has some kind of pin number pound thing to it.
Well, you make it sound more complicated
Extension.
than it is.
That's what it has. It's like 10 digits, whatever. It's on the website if you're interested. Phone in. We got 12 from you guys this time.
Woohoo!
So, we're loving it. We listen to all you guys. Thanks for calling in, and keep it up. Our email, if you guys are too lazy to go to our site, because we know some of you are, it's aquaroadradio@gmail.com. So email us.
Yes.
Alright, so really quick, before wrapping up the episode completely, we have a quick voicemail from Tirson, and he has a request for you guys.
Hey Shravan Warez, it's Tirson from the Bear server, level 4500. I have this video that I'm making for you guys, but I can't tell you much about it since it's supposed to be a surprise. This is actually a question to the audience. I will need at least 50 people for my video. What I need is your in-game name and a picture of what your character looks like. I will also need this from you, Shravan Warez, but only a picture since I already know your in-game name. Duh. You can send the pictures to triton15@yahoo.com. The video will take some time, so don't expect it immediately. So no hate mail or threats, spam. Yeah, you know what I mean. The faster you send the emails, the faster the video will get done. Hope to hear from your podcast soon. Tirson out.
Alright guys, so he gave you his email address there. It was kind of quick, but we got our email up on our site, so you're welcome to send it to us and we can forward it to him. And so he's looking for a picture of your character along with your character's name, but if you got a picture of your character, it probably has the character's name on it. Was he looking for the character name or our names? Actual names?
IGNs, yes, he wanted the IGNs.
IGNs.
But he didn't want our IGNs because he figured he already knew our IGNs.
Right. But so send them our way if you guys are interested in being in this video. apparently it's a surprise. Hopefully it'll turn out sweet, and we'd love to see it, actually. Also, out of random curiosity, because we've been receiving voicemails and stuff from you guys, and if you guys want and are willing, we'd like to have like a gallery of our listeners, kind of have pictures of you guys along with the list of the names of your characters. So not pictures of your characters, pictures of you, like actually you. And I know like a bunch of threads do that. On a bunch of the forums, a lot of people have like, post your pictures, your real life pictures and stuff. But I'm just curious. So if you're comfortable with it, I'd appreciate it to be able to see faces of the people on the phones.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and even if you're not calling, send us in photos. I'm just curious on who our listeners are.
Interesting.
And if you don't want us to put it up on the site, and you want it to keep it just between us, then we could do that too. I mean, just mention it in the email.
Yes, we will respect your privacy.
Yeah, of course. Does that wrap it up?
Yes, please.
I've been saying wrapping it up. All right, we're just go to bed.
I'm yawning. I gotta go find my pillow.
All right. Well, good night, guys, and see you next episode.
Goodbye.
Which is completely not in 2 weeks, even though we say it is.
We'll say it will be, but it'll get delayed several times. You can bank on it.
So. All right. Well, bye, guys.
Good night.